So, hi everybody, I'm Paul. I think I know most of you. I'm one of Atash's partners, along with Mike and Tyler. I'll say more about parts and partners a little bit later. But I want to introduce Atash, but I wanted to also say, and Atash wanted me to say this, that we're here not just to celebrate her, but really to celebrate DID, which is a superpower, and that's a big theme in this book. DID stands for Dissociative Identity Disorder, which is unfortunate because it's not really a disorder. It's a superpower. And I like to think of it as a reorder. So I'm going to explain very quickly, for those of you who are not sure what that means. DID used to be called multiple personalities. I want to start by saying that we all have parts. We all have parts. We're all multiple on some level. For example, there may be a part of you that loves parties, I have one. And there may be a part of you that hates parties, I have one. And there may be a part of you that loves the spotlight, I have one. And there may be a part of you that wants to just disappear, I have one.
Me too.
Yes. And one of the beautiful things about having parts is that our different parts hold different talents, not just different emotions and desires, but also have different gifts. The only difference between DID and our parts is that Atash has a very special, and when I say Atash, I'm talking about the system, has a very special distinction of having partial, sometimes total amnesia between her parts. So sometimes a part of her, often a part of her doesn't remember what another part experienced or did or said. And one of the things I'm so proud of her, all of them, for is that not only is she reading from her book, and not only is she talking about her life in a very vulnerable way, but in reading, she's actually allowing her different parts to come out. And so you may notice it may be totally seamless, and you may also notice that there are parts of her that come in all of a sudden and don't remember what was happening, and they may choose to introduce themselves or not. They may say hi, they go by colors, they may say hi, I'm red, or hi, I'm gray, or whatever, and so just keep listening, right? And you can also just reflect that this is something that happens to you too. We all have some degree of dissociation. So I really want to just say that, like, you may not feel completely like the person you were an hour ago. It may be very subtle, it may be very dramatic. And what we're here to do is just include everyone in this. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Atash, and she's going to read 2 sections from her book. Yeah,
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Great. I love microphones. Thank you so much for being here. My book is about my dissociation. So I left my body most of my life until I learned to stay in it and write this book. But I still live because I know it so well. But I really want to be here present for you all. And usually to be present, I like to breathe. So I want to invite you all to breathe with me so that I can help me ground me so I can read. Also, I have dyslexia, but this is my book, I wrote it, so I know what I'm reading. But reading is very scary for us, for most of us, but we wrote it, so we have to learn to read it and talk about it. So, can I invite you all to breathe in from your nose and out from your mouth? Great, let's do that 2 more times. Maybe the third one louder. Great, thank you. Okay, so there's so much I want to say, but I think the letter to the reader will explain enough for all of you, so I don't have to talk. I just read it. For some of you that were in my book reading Greenlight, I read 2 other stories, which I'm not going to do today. I'm going to do just the letter reader and 2 other things for those of you who already heard me. Okay. Dear reader, wherever I go, whenever I share pieces of my story and the things that happened to me as a child, I always get asked the same question. But how did you survive? The truth is that for many decades, I didn't have an answer. This is until I began writing this memoir. I used to think I survived because I was lucky. But how lucky was I exactly if all these bad things still happened? I know I was odd because everyone told me so, since I could remember. As a kid, they called me the girl who stares at walls. As a child, my home life was unpredictable, a confusing mix of love and terror. I was neglected and discarded by my caregivers and easily targeted by pedophiles. I was sexually abused for the first time at the age of 5, and this abuse continued from both strangers and relatives until I escaped Iran in my late teens. Outside my home, Iran was also on fire. During the 8-year war with Iraq that followed the revolution, I went to sleep many nights to the sound of bombs falling in Tehran. Daily sirens interrupted our meals, our school lessons, and our card games, and ushered us into a basement where each family had built a bomb shelter. No electric lights for fear of Iraqi planes might see our home. I didn't feel safe inside my home or outside of it, so I left reality, just like that. I dissociated into a place I call the House of Stone, a building in a magical forest full of peaceful creatures and kind. I'm red. I'm gonna read the rest.
Okay.
A building in a magical forest full of peaceful creatures and kind trees. And even volcanoes that spit fire at anyone who wanted to hurt me. This place was my salvation. I didn't know that as this was going on, I was also losing touch with reality. I didn't want to live in a reality of abuse, war, violence, and despair. My family's solution to my problem was to try to marry me off to anyone who could pay a good price for me. I understood to be truly free, I had to leave my family, my house of stone, and Iran for good.